So what does Dave Ramsey really think of debt consolidation? And is debt consolidation even worth it? Well, let's find out. Welcome to the Ascend Finance YouTube channel, where we help folks understand debt consolidation and what financial gurus like Dave Ramsey think about it. Before we get into everything though, just keep in mind this video is made for informational purposes only and should not be construed as any kind of legal advice. Okay, so as I'm sure you're curious to understand what Dave Ramsey truly thinks about debt consolidation, let's get right into things. All right, let's watch the first clip.
And that's extend the length of the loan.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was, I believe.
Yeah. Why do you want to be in debt longer?
Well, just because it was going to save us a little bit of money, I guess.
No, it didn't. It saves you money per month. It didn't save you money. You're going to be in debt longer, and it's going to cost you more money because you're going to pay interest longer.
No, that completely makes sense.
Yeah. So what's your household income?
Well, I'm employed.
So the first Dave Ramsey point that we're going to cover is the idea that debt consolidation doesn't actually save you money. Now, keep in mind, though, that debt consolidation is generally a blanket term for a lot of different things nowadays, but for context, Dave's referring to a debt consolidation loan. So let's quickly unpack this. Is it fair to say that a debt consolidation loan doesn't save you money? Well, yes and no. In this situation, it seemed like the individual was going to consolidate debt that was at an average interest rate of 18% with a consolidation loan of 18%. So Dave Ramsey's point is that you're not really saving any money doing this. You're actually more so stretching the loan. That's why he's seeing a monthly payment reduction. But also there's a great point being made here. A lot of people are so focused on the monthly payment that they're either going to do something that's not actually cost saving for them or potentially get themselves into a program that maybe puts them in a worse spot than they were before. That said, I know sometimes folks are not sure if an option's really saving them money. So I'll actually link in the description our free debt options calculator. I'll mention it more throughout the video, but it's going to break down not only your monthly payment, but the also total all-in cost. So you can really understand, is this cost saving as a whole? Okay, let's look at the next clip here.
The Bible says, and we say things like, oh, I paid off my debt with a debt consolidation loan. No, you didn't, you duper. You moved your debt. You didn't pay off anything. You just moved it. But the fact that you say, I paid off that tells you that you felt like you did something. Now, Laura's not in that category. It's a whole different thing.
Okay, so this is a very important thing to think about. I do see a lot of times where folks get a consolidation loan thinking it's actually enabling them to get out of the debt faster. But sometimes it's purely just moving the debt from a revolving credit to an installment loan. That said, I do understand where sometimes it still may make sense to do that if you're trying to bring your credit score up or if you have a much easier time juggling one payment versus multiple. However, if you're taking out the debt consolidation loan with the idea that you're actually getting out of debt quicker, that's not always the case, and sometimes it's really just moving the debt. Okay, let's see what Dave Ramsey has to say next.
They're not paying the debt right now.
Right.
You know that. You didn't consolidate your debt. You just quit paying it.
Right.
That's all you've done. And they're collecting a check from you, and then every so often as they pile up some of those checks, they use that money to settle one of these debts that have gone bad because you're in default on all of them.
Right.
You've completely trashed your credit.
Okay, so before I unpack this, I actually dive into this topic of debt consolidation programs in detail in another video that I'll link in the description. So just keep in mind, in today's video, I'll stay a bit higher level. Okay, so basically what you're seeing in Dave's video is that a person signed up for a debt consolidation program because they had the idea that they were consolidating their debt. Dave's 100% right here. There's absolutely no debt being consolidated. All that's really happening is you're falling behind on your debt so that a company can call your creditors for you and try to negotiate for 50% or so of what's owed. Now, I'll actually talk about whether these kind of programs are worth it later in the video, but for now, just keep that in mind. So now that we kind of understand that you're not actually consolidating your debt with a debt consolidation program, why do companies call it a debt consolidation program? Well, simple answer, marketing and sales. Is it fair to call it deceptive marketing? I'll let you decide, but in short, if you were to Google like definitions of debt consolidation, you're gonna see a lot of definitions about consolidating debt with a loan. So I can understand why people are confused since a company is pitching it as a debt consolidation program. But to circle back, let's talk about a few main takeaways from the clip. Well, for one, you're clearly not consolidating debt in this program, you're just falling behind. However, it does feel like you are consolidating the debt because a company is handling all of your accounts one by one for you, and now you're just focused on a single monthly deposit. Second, if you're not falling behind on the debt in the first place, do these programs even make sense? Third, if you're only considering this kind of program because you want to consolidate your debt, maybe it makes sense to look at other options like nonprofit credit counseling. You can actually estimate the monthly payment for that option on the free debt calculator I mentioned earlier. All right, let's move on to the last clip.
Probably not. Here's why. You are trying to fix your credit card debt with your interest rate. The interest rate is not your problem. Your problem is that you are spending everything you make instead of putting it on the debt. And so let's sit down and do a written budget. Let's cut out eating out. Let's cancel the vacation.
Okay, now let's break this down. It's interesting because Dave is basically stating that using a consolidation loan, not a program, we'll come back to that, to consolidate your debt doesn't do anything to help you. He makes a point that the interest on the credit card isn't your issue. It's more about the fact that you're spending everything you have on other things instead of paying off your debt. However, though, my thought is that always the case? Frankly, no. I mean, is that the case in the situation of the individual on the phone with Dave? Well, potentially. It's hard to say. But sometime life hits you when you least expect it. And frankly, you don't have any other choice but to rely on your credit cards. And then finally, when you get to a point where you can focus on paying off the debt, you feel like you're only able to make the minimum payments. So with the combination of high interest credit card debt and the ability to only pay minimums, using a consolidation loan, assuming a lower interest rate than the average rate of your credit cards, can sometimes actually help you save money. So in short though, Dave Ramsey is both correct and incorrect. Everyone's situation is unique, and it's not fair to just assume that a consolidation loan doesn't solve your issue. Ultimately, you're going to have to analyze your spending and why the debt was accrued in the first place. Okay, so let's summarize our findings from all of the clips today. It appears that Dave Ramsey ultimately thinks that debt consolidation loans only really save you money if you're taking out a loan at a lower interest rate than your average rate from your credit cards. He also wants you to make sure that consolidating your debt through a loan actually helps you get out of debt faster and actually solve your current issue. For example, if overspending is your main issue, then a loan may not solve that specific challenge. Now also, if you're considering a debt consolidation program because you're trying to lower your monthly payments, although you had no signs in the first place of falling behind in the debt, then it may make sense to take a step back and reconsider all of your options. All that said though, if you feel like you're not sure what to do, but you do feel like you need to do something about the debt, then feel free to take our free debt options calculator I've mentioned a couple of times now. It'll break down the different options, the monthly payments, the estimated total all-in cost, as well as an estimated credit score impact for each option. That way you're able to compare things unbiasedly and then make the most informed decision. So let's now try to answer the big question. Is debt consolidation worth it? Of course, this will be up to you, but I'll leave you with a few things to think about. If you're falling behind on the debt, then it may make sense to look at either a debt consolidation program or even bankruptcy for that matter. If you're not falling behind on the debt, but you do feel like you're not making any progress, almost kind of like you're in a hamster wheel, then it may make sense to consider options like nonprofit credit counseling or even a consolidation loan if your credit allows. All of that said though, if there's anything to take away from this video, it's that debt consolidation programs are not loans and they do not consolidate your debt. Like Dave said, you're just stopping payments on your debt and now making a monthly deposit into the special purpose bank account. Either way, you can call us at 833-272-3631 and we'd be happy to chat through your options and situation. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a great day.